Welcome back to Chained Opinion Podcast. We are diving into a case today that really captivated the nation, the story of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie.
Yeah, it's one that everyone was talking about for sure.
Right, and I think a lot of it has to do with their, van life journey being shared online.
Yeah, they were really putting their lives out there, weren't they?
Exactly. So you look back at these photos and it's all smiles and stunning backdrops, but then knowing what we know now, it's just chilling
Absolutely makes you wonder what was really going on behind the scenes.
beneath the surface, right?
Yeah, like was there more to their relationship than they were letting on?
Well, and then you have that incident in Moab, Utah. Remember that?
Oh yeah, when the police were called?
Yeah, because a witness reported a possible domestic dispute.
And thankfully the whole thing was caught on the officer's body cameras.
And that footage is really hard to watch.
It is. You see Gabby so clearly distressed and Brian's just calm, almost detached.
Yeah, trying to downplay the situation, even shift the blame.
It really gives you a glimpse into their dynamic, doesn't it? How he might have been manipulating things.
Absolutely. And then weeks later, Gabby's social media goes silent.
Right, her last post was August 25th, and then nothing.
Total communication blackout.
Which obviously worried her family and friends.
Yeah, it was totally out of character for her.
And then, of course, Brian returns home to Florida alone.
Driving Gabby's van, but no Gabby.
Yeah, and his silence, the lack of cooperation from his family, really added to the suspicion.
Where was Gabby? Everyone wanted to know.
Right, and that's when the internet and all the online sleuths really took over.
This case became a national obsession. People were analyzing every single post, every comment, trying to find any clue about Gabby.
It's amazing how invested people were, and, some of the information those online sleuths found actually helped investigators.
Yeah, they were digging deep. But sadly, the search for Gabby ended in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park.
Heartbreaking. Her remains were found on September 19th, 2021.
And the autopsy confirmed our worst fear.
Strangulation.
That carefree van life adventure had ended in tragedy.
Yeah, the focus immediately went to finding Brian and getting justice for Gabby.
Right. And as authorities started piecing together what happened, they found a lot of Brian's actions were really suspicious.
Like those phone calls he made to his parents saying Gabby was gone but not explaining anything.
And the fake text messages.
Trying to make it look like Gabby was still alive.
And then he transferred money from Gabby's account to his own.
With a really weird memo on it, too.
He was trying to cover his tracks.
To curl an alibi.
I remember that incident at the Mary Picklett's restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming?
Oh, yeah. Just days before Gabby disappeared.
Witnesses said Brian got into a huge argument with the staff.
Yeah. Not exactly the happy couple they portrayed online, right?
Not at all. It just shows how different their online persona was from reality.
So important to remember that what we see online isn't always the whole story.
Definitely a carefully curated version of reality.
And unfortunately for Gabby, those hidden truths had devastating consequences. Picking up where we left off talking about Brian Laundrie and those inconsistencies in his behavior.
Right, like was he just not good at covering his tracks, or?
Or did the media scrutiny make things worse for him?
I mean, it seems like he was really trying to control the story, didn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Those calls to his parents, the fake text, the money transfer.
Almost like classic manipulation tactics, right?
Right, creating a diversion, trying to buy himself time.
But he was leaving a digital trail everywhere he went.
Exactly. The digital age can be tricky like that.
And those digital breadcrumbs led investigators to Gabby.
To her remains, in Grand Teton National Park.
Such a devastating discovery.
It was. And a turning point in the case.
The focus shifted from finding Gabby to finding justice.
Right. The search for Brian intensified. Everyone wanted answers.
The whole nation was watching.
It was captivating, wasn't it? This need to understand what happened.
And a month after Gabby's remains were found, Brian's were too.
In a Florida nature reserve.
Along with a notebook and a confession.
A confession, but with a very specific story.
Yeah, he said he killed Gabby out of mercy.
Claims she was injured in pain.
But that didn't line up with the autopsy, did it?
Nope. No evidence of those injuries.
So was it a genuine confession or another manipulation tactic?
Hard to say. We might never know the full truth.
But Brian's actions had huge consequences.
Beyond the immediate tragedy, of course.
His attempts to invade capture all the unanswered questions.
It just fueled the media frenzy even more.
And it became a cautionary tale in a way.
About the dangers of online personas and believing everything we see.
And it sparked a huge conversation about domestic violence.
About recognizing those warning signs.
And the ways abusers manipulate their victims.
It really resonated with people because, in a way, Gabby's story could have been anyone's story.
It made us think about the vulnerabilities in relationships and the importance of speaking up.
And it also showed the power of collective action.
How the public can play a role in these investigations.
Absolutely. So when we come back, we'll talk about the lasting impact of this case and the conversations it continues to spark.
Back to Chained Opinion Podcast as we wrap up. Talking about the Gabby Petito case, I think it's important to look at the impact it's had beyond just the tragedy itself.
Absolutely. And, we have to acknowledge Gabby's family and their strength through all of this.
They've been incredible turning their pain into advocacy.
Yeah, with the Gabby Petito Foundation.
Right, supporting families of missing persons and raising awareness about domestic abuse.
Trying to create real change and pushing for better laws to protect victims.
It's inspiring to see. And, this case also showed how powerful online communities can be.
Oh, yeah. All those people coming together online, sharing information, analyzing clues.
It was really unprecedented, wasn't it?
It was like the whole world was trying to find answers.
And some of those online sleuths found things the authorities hadn't.
Exactly. They were looking at social media posts, maps, timelines, everything.
It showed the potential of everyone working together, but it also raised some ethical questions.
For sure. About the role of online sleuths and misinformation spreading.
It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Gabby's story made a lot of people rethink social media in general.
Especially that van life image and those perfect lives we see online.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in those curated images.
But Gabby's case reminded us that it's not always the full story.
What we see online is just a highlight reel.
There could be so much more going on behind the scenes.
Definitely. So as we wrap up, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first, I think this case really brought the issue of domestic violence to the forefront.
Absolutely. Recognizing the warning signs, knowing that it's never the victim's fault.
And knowing there are resources available for help.
Exactly. And the second thing is the power of community.
Gabby's case showed that when people come together, they can create change.
Whether it's advocating for laws supporting victims or just spreading awareness.
Right. And lastly, I think we all need to be more critical of what we see online.
Especially on social media.
Question those curated narratives, and remember there's often more to the story.
Absolutely.
So if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please reach out for help.
The National Domestic Violence Hotline is a great resource.
You can call them at 800-799-SAFE or visit their website at thehotline.org.
And let's all remember Gabby Petito not just as a victim, but as someone who sparked important conversations and hopefully positive change.
Her story has touched so many people.
Yeah, and that brings us to the end of our look at the Gabby Petito case.
We hope you found this episode informative and thought-provoking.
If you did, be sure to share it with your friends and subscribe to Chained Opinion Podcasts.
You can find us on YouTube Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Thanks for listening.